In the poorly lighted narrow streets of my past, I used to perform well in the disorder of the gang life, seeking comfort in the darkness that concealed the wounds of my disturbed spirit. I had no idea that the worst storm was still ahead, when my wife and cousin's betrayal destroyed the delicate peace I had created. However, among the remains of my universe, a surprising spark of optimism appeared, a transition from deep sadness to being a father. At one time, the streets were where I played, and the group was like my family. Loyalty was the valuable commodity that circulated discreetly, and I proudly displayed my scars as symbols of respect. My wife, Emily, stood next to me, appearing dedicated to the life we had decided on. I had no idea that below the surface, a storm was developing. One significant night, the shadows murmured secrets that broke my universe. Emily's unfaithfulness with my cousin Jake reverberated through the dim passageways like a haunting tune. Deception, similar to a blade, severed the connections I believed were strong. The roads that used to bring solace now resounded with the remnants of my broken faith. After everything had happened, I found myself dealing with the ruins of my life when a surprising discovery emerged. Emily's infidelity resulted in an unforeseen outcome, a kid, my child. During the chaos, a feeling of hope began to grow inside me. Discovering that I was going to be a parent changed my sadness into a deep feeling of duty. The transition from the disorder of gang life to the peace of parenting was challenging. The roads that used to represent me suddenly turned into the arena for my inner conflicts. However, during the calm times, as I got ready to greet my child in a world influenced by my past, I found the courage inside me to escape from the restrictions that held me back. The arrival of my kid, a symbol of hope during a difficult time, signified a significant change in my life. Becoming a father was the trigger for my redemption. The purity in his eyes reflected the innocence that I had forgotten, and the duty of caring for him led me towards a path of healing. As I faced the difficulties of being a parent, my love for my son motivated me to move past the difficult times. The marks from my past remind me of the strength needed to create a brighter future for our loved ones. During nights without sleep and moments of affection, I learned the real significance of family, a connection created not by blood, but by shared experiences and steadfast love. Ultimately, my transition from being involved in a gang to becoming a father showcased how love can bring about change and how resilience can arise from the lowest points of hopelessness. The marks from my past, once signs of a life off course, suddenly turned into emblems of pride as I journeyed along the challenging path of redemption. As time passed and days became nights, and nights evolved into weeks, I found comfort in the small pleasures of being a father. When my son first held my hand with his small fingers, a feeling of warmth filled my heart, melting away the cold remnants of my past. Together, we explored the unfamiliar world of parenthood, establishing a base of trust and affection. The difficulties continued, but every obstacle we encountered jointly enhanced the connection between father and son. Swapping diapers, calming tears, and navigating through sleepless nights were important experiences, signifying our path towards a better future. Despite feeling very tired, the love that grew between us showed us the way ahead. During this change, I faced the memories of my past. The remains of the gang lifestyle nevertheless persisted, posing a threat to draw me back into obscurity. However, the role of being a father served as a strong barrier. I was determined to break free from the darkness that had once consumed me in order to protect my son. It wasn't only about moving on from the gang life. It was about changing the story of my life. With a fresh sense of direction, I looked for chances to develop personally. I signed up for parenting programs, went to therapy sessions, and welcomed the help of people who supported my path to change. Gradually, I removed the layers of my old self and transformed into a guy committed to improving his family's life. Things changed when I faced Emily and Jake. The injuries from betrayal were still present, but I was now able to have a mature and understanding discourse due to the new strength I had gained. Parenting together with Emily was difficult, but our mutual dedication to our son's welfare helped overcome the issues caused by previous conflicts. Jake also recognized the suffering he had caused, and we established a delicate agreement for the benefit of the child we all cared for. When my son began walking and speaking for the first time, the sound of his laughter was more noticeable than the memories of my difficult history. The transition from being involved in a gang to becoming a father had not removed the scars, but it had changed them into a guide for strength. The shadows that used to stick to me now moved in the background, like leftovers of a life I had moved past. Ultimately, the story belonged not just to me, but also served as evidence of the boundless potential for transformation and development in the human soul. Being a father had become my source of comfort and strength, a tune of optimism and determination that echoed through the memories of a past I had moved beyond. While embracing my kid tightly, I was amazed by the opportunity for new beginnings and the profound impact of love. As time went on, the different parts of my previous existence kept fading, uncovering a more recent, more resilient version of myself. Being a father became my foundation, connecting me to a world that was very different from the disorder of my previous experiences. The daily tasks of being a parent, such as reading bedtime stories and going on weekend outings, provided a feeling of regularity that was new to me. As my son became older, my dedication to giving him a secure and supportive setting increased. I got a job that is honest, escaping from the criminal environment that used to be a big part of my life. The regularity of a 9-to-5 work provided organization to my days and security to our lives. The salary, regardless it being small, represented my resolve to end the cycle of hopelessness. The assistance of friends and mentors was very important in my change. Recognizing the genuineness of my efforts, they became sources of support, providing counsel and motivation. Collectively, we collaborated to establish a community that welcomed atonement, where opportunities for a fresh start were not only provided but also honored. However, the journey to atonement was not without its challenges. Memories from my past sometimes came back, putting at risk the improvements I had achieved. During those times, I held on to the affection I had for my kid, utilizing it as protection from the temptations that were present in the darkness. The dedication to being an involved and caring father motivated me to move forward. During my own journey, unforeseen turns were waiting. Emily also started her own journey of self-exploration and improvement. The injuries from previous experiences gradually improved as we dealt with the challenges of co-parenting. The mutual aim of giving our son a secure and affectionate environment created a solid foundation that enabled forgiveness to develop. Our communication progressed from tense discussions to a delicate yet sincere collaboration centered on our child's welfare. Jake also wanted to make up for his past errors. The interactions in our relationships changed, leading to the development of a delicate bond. Although confidence was not quickly regained, a mutual dedication to our son's well-being served as the link that joined our broken history. Over time, the story of my life evolved into a tale of strength, recovery, and the lasting impact of love. The marks from my history, once reminders of suffering, had turned into signs of resilience and knowledge. Becoming a father not only provided me with a new opportunity in life, but also enabled me to create a future characterized by love, dedication, and a strong belief in the potential for transformation. Ultimately, my transition from being involved in a gang to becoming a father showcased the profound ability for change that exists among everyone. During the good and bad times, the moments of sadness and success, I had realized that redemption is an ongoing journey rather than a final goal, a path that I was thankful to be on, beside the special youngster who had unintentionally become my source of guidance. When my kid reached his teenage years, additional obstacles arose. The attraction of the streets and the reminders of my past were close to tempting him into a world I had struggled to leave behind. Realizing the possible risk, I took on the roles of both a father and a guide, committed to protecting him from the errors I made in my younger years. Together, we dealt with the challenges of adolescence, the uncomfortable discussions, and the defiant behaviors that usually come with growing up. I talked about my experiences, the difficult truths from my history, and the deep lessons I had gained. It was a careful mix, providing advice without forcing it, letting him create his own personality while reinforcing the principles that had become the foundation of our family. During that time, I saw a young man develop positively due to love, strength, and the strong will to conquer challenges. His accomplishments, whether significant or minor, become markers in our collective experience. As he did well in school and followed his interests, the memories of my past moved further away, replaced by the lively story of our family creating a new story. Raising our son with Emily turned into a joint effort centered on his welfare. The wounds from betrayal were still present, but they had turned into scars that no longer controlled our lives. Choosing to forgive was challenging, but we decided to do it for the well-being of our child and the peaceful family environment we were creating. During our successes together, I stayed watchful of my prior mistakes, knowing that seeking forgiveness was a continuous effort. The marks on my inner self, memories of a past existence, always encouraged me to stay focused on being positive and evolving. As my kid neared adulthood, I began to see that our experiences, albeit being difficult at times, had inspired optimism in others. I started telling our tale on my YouTube channel, aiming to motivate individuals dealing with their own struggles. We received a lot of messages from people who found comfort and inspiration in our story of change. Being a father, which initially resulted from betrayal, had turned into my biggest source of support. The affection I had for my kid went beyond blood relations, reflecting the idea that family is determined not by biology, but by shared experiences and strong dedication. Ultimately, my narrative kept developing, with each section expanding on the teachings from before. From the troubling experiences of betrayal and involvement in a gang, I transformed into a father, a guide, and a source of inspiration for those looking for a fresh start. The voyage was not finished yet, but as I thought about what was to come, I felt thankful for the opportunity I had been given to change not just my own life, but also the lives of people I influenced during the journey. As time passed, new important events and difficulties arose, and as my son became an adult, our relationship changed into one based on mutual respect and friendship. His move towards independence marked a change in our relationship, yet the teachings from our common history still influenced the decisions he made. As I thought about the many parts of our lives, I understood the significant effect our tale had on other people. The YouTube channel, which was originally used to share our personal experiences, has evolved into a supportive and inspiring community. Messages came from people who had been inspired by our tale, encouraging me to explore further the intricacies of redemption, perseverance, and the changing force of love. Excited to broaden the scope of our story, I worked with groups focused on helping those looking for a way out of harmful behaviors. Together, we created outreach programs, mentorship projects, and awareness campaigns, providing a ray of light to people dealing with their own history. By speaking at public events and community gatherings, I shared the insights I had gained about overcoming patterns of negativity. The effect extended well beyond the online world, connecting with other audiences who viewed our trip as proof of the potential for change, no matter where one begins. As my kid followed his ideas and goals, I discovered a fresh sense of purpose in helping others towards a better future. The marks on my soul, formerly representing anguish, have transformed into emblems of pride, showing the power in being open and the toughness gained from life's challenges. The challenges of co-parenting with Emily continue to influence our family relations. Although forgiveness had allowed for some harmony to develop, the process continued to require a careful mix of shared duties and respect for each other. Our kid, observing the changes in our relationship, understood the need of forgiveness, empathy, and the ability to develop in difficult situations. As the YouTube channel grew, we broadened our storytelling to feature interviews with others who had successfully dealt with their own challenges. Every story contributed to the overall theme of redemption, emphasizing how common human experiences are the ability to change for the better by embracing a positive mindset. The trip, characterized by significant change, had some periods of doubt. Memories of my past sometimes appeared, telling me that seeking redemption was an ongoing effort. However, the affection from my family, the backing of the community we had formed, and the common goal of motivating others kept me moving ahead. Within the vast complexity of life, Our journey evolved into a pattern of successes, challenges, and the firm conviction that transformation is attainable for those willing to pursue it. The gang life that used to be a big part of my identity is now a distant memory, as fatherhood has brought me love, strength, and a clear sense of purpose. Standing at the crossroads of my past and present, I welcome the uncertain future with thankfulness and modesty. The transition from being part of a gang to becoming a father had not just changed my future, but had also become a symbol of the endless potential that exists in the human soul. A narrative that connected not only with individuals who had experienced comparable hardships, but with anyone looking for motivation to conquer the obstacles of life. And thus, the chapters kept progressing, with each page narrating a tale of redemption, love, and the persistent quest for a fulfilling existence. As I dealt with the complications of the present, I did so knowing that the trip, like the novel, was continuous, with fresh lessons to learn and new chapters to write. As the chapters progressed, with each page narrating a tale of redemption, love, and the ongoing quest for a fulfilling life, I pondered the significant influence of our journey. The YouTube channel, currently a successful community offering support and motivation, has turned into a symbol of the strength of human determination and the positive impact of opportunities for redemption. Our joint work with groups focused on rehabilitation and guidance thrived, leading to a chain reaction of beneficial impact on individuals looking to move away from harmful behaviors. The outreach programs connected with people at different points in their personal journeys, providing not just hope, but practical advice on how to move away from the burdens of their past. By speaking in public, I found out how therapeutic it can be to share my story. The responses from the audience, the crying eyes, and the sincere remarks confirmed that our past struggles, which were once lonely and difficult, had now turned into a source of motivation for others looking for their own way to improve. The combined power of our common stories reflected the feeling that nobody was facing their challenges by themselves. My connection with Emily kept changing, moving from a troubled partnership to a co-parenting collaboration based on understanding and mutual respect. Our son, after seeing the challenges of our journey, had become a caring and empathetic young adult. The lessons he learned from our experiences shaped his character, strengthening his idea that even broken relationships could be repaired to some extent. As our narrative became more widely known, I understood that redemption is not only a personal path, but a shared one. The care and backing from our wider community provided us with strength, emphasizing that the ability to make a difference was not just dependent on personal determination, but could be enhanced by mutual understanding and support. Amidst the public story, the individual experience carried on. The marks on my inner self, albeit signs of victory, were always there to remind me of the strength needed to face life's difficulties. The remnants of my history, however reduced, remained as evidence of the continuous dedication to selecting a route of optimism and development. As the story neared its end, I found myself on the edge of a future full with potential for more development, knowledge, and influence. The transition from being in a gang to becoming a father had not only changed my future, but had also become a guiding light for those looking for a path to salvation. The YouTube channel, which has become a forum for sharing not just our own experience, but also the tales of many others, will remain a source of inspiration. The dedication to outreach programs and community projects would continue, since the process of redemption was not an individual one, but a joint endeavor to elevate and assist others on their own journeys. Reflecting on the challenging experiences that led me to this moment, I couldn't help but be amazed by the significant impact of love, strength, and the steadfast conviction in the potential for transformation. The trip had been challenging, with good and bad moments, but the endpoint was deeply satisfying, a life with meaning, following the values of kindness, development, and the determined effort for a brighter future. With a thankful heart and a determined spirit, I welcomed the end of this chapter, understanding that the tale of redemption is an ongoing story that evolves with each act of kindness, every shared difficulty, and every person who has faith in the potential for transformation.